Let me ask you something real quick. Think about the last time your kid got sick in the middle of the night. What did you do? You grabbed your phone, Googled it, read 3 articles, watched a YouTube video, or maybe texted someone in a parenting group at 3 a.m., and somehow got an answer in under 4 minutes. Now I want you to take all of that away. No phone, no Google, no forums, no one awake to text. Just you, your 6 kids, and a house that has never went completely quiet. That was somebody's actual life. And the more I sit with how they pulled it off, the harder it gets for me to complain about anything ever. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't just a story. It's a masterclass in parenting that most of us completely missed. Close your eyes for a second. It's a Saturday morning, somewhere in the 1980s. Small house. Could be the one you grew up in, or could be your neighbor's. 1 bathroom, 1 stove that always had something on it. A living room that didn't quite fit everyone, but everyone was always in it anyway. 6 kids, different ages, different personalities, 6 completely different sets of problems, all hitting at once every single day. No Pinterest boards for birthday cakes, no YouTube tutorials for braiding hair. No Uber Eats for the nights she was too exhausted to cook, and trust me, she was always exhausted. But here's the thing that keeps getting me. Those kids turned out okay, more than okay. And I want to know how. Because I think somewhere between all the apps and advice we've piled up, we forgot something important. We use Google or some version of it for everything when it comes to our kids. What to feed them, how to handle tantrums, whether a cough is normal or something scary. We outsource our confidence to the internet every single day. But in the 80s, that confidence had to come from somewhere else. It came from within, from memory, from community, from watching your own mother and her mother handle the exact same chaos. She didn't freeze, she didn't spiral, she moved. Because she had no choice but to trust herself, and that trust built up like a muscle, day by day, month by month, year by year, kid by kid. When's the last time you trusted yourself like that? Without confirming it online first. Now I know what you might be thinking, but how did she actually do these every day? I'm getting there, but I need to show you the kitchen first, because that's where everything started in that house. And I promise you, what happened there is going to completely change the way you think about the word routine. The kitchen wasn't just a kitchen, it was the war room. Every morning before the sun was fully up, before a single child opened their eyes, she was already in there. A pot on the stove, something baking, the day already mapped out in her head. This wasn't meal prep in the Instagram sense, this was survival logistics. 6 mouths, 1 budget that wasn't going to stretch no matter how hard you pulled it. She cooked from memory, from feel, a handful of this, a pinch of that. No recipe card, no food scale, just decades of knowing what her family needed and building it from whatever she had. You know what that is? That's mastery. The kids would come downstairs and the whole house smelled like safety. Like whatever is happening today, at least this part is good. Now let's talk about discipline. Because 6 kids are absolutely not 6 angels. 6 kids are 6 completely different human beings who will on any given day test you in 6 completely different directions at the same exact moment. And they don't take turns. We have whole philosophies for this now. Gentle parenting, emotion coaching, books that are longer than most car owners' manuals, all about how to correct your child without leaving a dent in their self-concept. And listen, a lot of that is genuinely good. I'm not knocking any of it. But she had none of it. What she had was the look. You know exactly what I mean. That one look that without a single syllable said more than a 2-hour conversation ever could. The look that stopped mid-sentence sentences. That made you suddenly remember every single rule you had strategically forgotten 5 minutes ago. She didn't need a behavior chart. She had credibility. Consistency, the kind of presence that only comes from showing up the exact same way, every single day for years and years, until the kids just knew. They respected her not out of fear, but because she was real. The rules came from love so deep you could feel it even when it was strict as hell. How do you build that kind of quiet authority? The kind that never has to raise its voice? Hold on to that. We're not done yet. Here's what I haven't told you yet. Loop. The mornings? She owned those. The food? Covered. The discipline? She had a system nobody taught her, and nobody could steal from her. But the nights? After the last kid was finally down. The house finally quiet. What happened in that silence is the part that actually got to me when I sat with it. After the last kid was finally down, and with 6 of them, finally, could mean 10:30 or 11 p.m. she'd sit. No phone to scroll through, no Netflix to disappear into, Maybe the television low in the background. Maybe just the hum of the refrigerator and the sound of a house that had been so loud all day, finally breathing. And in that quiet, she did something I think we've almost completely forgotten how to do. She thought. She went through every single one of those 6 kids in her head, who seemed off at dinner, who had gone a little too quiet, who laughed a little too hard, the way kids do when something's actually eating at them. She ran her own diagnostic on each of them, one by one. No app, no check-in worksheet, just a woman alone with her love for 6 people she was entirely responsible for. She worried, let's not dress this up in gold. She worried constantly about money, about whether she was enough, about what the world was going to look like for each of those 6 kids when she couldn't shield them from it anymore. And then she got back up the next morning and did every single bit of it all over again, without a motivational post, without a self-care routine, without anyone handing her a trophy, because they were the reason, and that reason was more than enough. You remember what I asked you at the very beginning. That sick kid. 3 in the morning, your phone lighting up your face in the dark. She didn't have any of that, but she had something else. Something that took years to build and couldn't be downloaded. A deep, unshakable knowing built from mistakes, built from watching the same 6 people grow through every version of themselves, that she was the answer. Not a search engine, not a parenting forum, not a thread of strangers on the internet. We have more information available to any one of us right now than any parent in the history of the world has ever had. And somehow, sometimes, we feel less sure of ourselves than ever. Maybe what we're actually starving for isn't more information. Maybe what we need is the willingness to trust ourselves the way she had absolutely no choice but to. 6 kids, no Google, just one person who showed up every single day, not perfectly but fully. That's the whole lesson.